You spent 4 years in Multicoin now. Recently, Multicoin completed 7 years, right? So congratulations on that. You started as an analyst, you then grew up the ladder, you became an associate, and now you're a partner, right? Your second name is Deepan, right? You started your career as like Web2 sales, which is BD as well, right? And then you did product management in the real world. Keeping all these things aside, who is Shayon and what's your story?
I grew up in New Delhi, India. I always had an interest and a passion for maths. Or math, as they call it in the US.
Yeah.
And so, generally found that I was pretty good at that stuff in school. And then ended up being fortunate enough to come to the US to study math at the University of Chicago. And I had big dreams of becoming an academic. I wanted to get a PhD or to go down the route of doing net new research. And then about 3 years into that in college, I realized this is not the life for me.
Yeah. Being a thought leader is better.
Yeah, being a thought leader, yeah. People were telling me there's a separate career in thought leadership. I think it's this.
Yeah.
So long story short, I was trying to figure out what to do. At that time, the canonical answer for what you do if you're not going into academia is you're going to banking, consulting, or tech. And so I ended up, not having that much of an interest in the first two. But I had friends around me who were starting companies or advising for companies and involved in new company creation, which I thought felt like the kind of place where I'd have a little more agency and less bureaucracy. And so I ended up, just experimenting, like getting involved with friends' companies, doing sales for an enterprise software company, helping a friend start a open door competitor, and we can talk about what that business, how that business actually works.
Yeah.
Side note, it does not work. But really just trying to get hands on and trying to understand what it takes to start something from scratch and try to turn it into a lasting big enterprise, and sort of falling in love with all of the things in the equation there and that journey as a whole. And so I think I'd always wanted to be a founder or be involved in that process somehow. And then, fast forward to 2020 when I sort of formally got involved full time in a capacity investing in crypto. I think my original intentions, if you asked me at the beginning of the year, would have been to, have started a company. But Kyle was hiring for an analyst at Multicoin, and we ended up having a ton of overlap in terms of at least how I was thinking about the world, and I've been investing then. But my investing style has still been very operator centric. I like to get deeply involved with my companies and sort of be on that journey with them, at least for the first 12, 18, 24 months. And then obviously later on as well. But I think if my job is to produce alpha, uncorrelated alpha in whatever way across different stages, I have to find out some way in the market to do that, and for me that is operating leverage for the companies that I work with. And so I'm just really excited about seeing new companies get formed, solving new markets, solving problems in new markets that you could not solve outside of crypto coordination primitives. And happy to go into more detail, but that's sort of like a quick rundown of how I got here.
Good.
Yeah.
So you did like bachelor's in math, right?
Mm-hmm.
Were you a bright student then? Like, did you enjoy doing
I was. I'd say for the first 2 years I was pretty bright, and then I started feeling very stupid in my third year.
Yeah.
So I started taking like graduate courses, and where like the real academic, like true to life, like guys who are supposed to be spending 15 hours a day solving proofs.
Yeah.
Once you put me head to head with them, I was like, I'm not the guy for this. So I was pretty good for the first 2 years, and then as things got more and more abstract and more complicated, I found myself having less of that edge that I used to have in high school and earlier, where I feel like I was the top guy. That started to fade away a little bit more.
Yeah. When they started introducing alphabets in math, I was like, this shit is not for me, man.
This is mostly, I would have memories of going into lectures and just like watching this professor just like draw shapes on the board. And it's, what are we doing here?
Yeah. It's similar to crypto, right? No one knows what's happening.
No one knows
Everything is
what's happening.
imaginary.
Yeah.